Welcome to King's Realm, and I'm the King, and we're talking Atlanta Hawks preseason recap of the Orlando Magic's game. And you know we gotta talk about Giannis. Hey yo, Ace, drop the beat, dog. I'm here with my man Hooper. Hey,
Thanks for having me.
anytime, brother, anytime. So we talking about the Atlanta Hawks and their preseason. So let's
Yeah.
start with the first game. What was your takes on that first game?
I mean, I was really excited to see such a good performance from Hunter. I think that he really showed up. The result didn't matter as much, but the minutes you saw from the guys that are going to be our key rotation pieces
Mhm.
was really good. So seeing that from Hunter especially was nice for me. I mean, I'm wearing his jersey right now, so
So the Hawks lost the first game, 116 to 112. Trae
Mhm.
Young didn't really have a good performance. He had 7 points, about 6 assists.
Mhm.
DeAndre Hunter was a shining point at 18 points. He had the high for the team. Other players like John Collins, 14 points, Bogey, 9 points, Cam Reddish, 13 points. My boy Cam, I love Cam. And like you said,
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter, 8 points. Gallinari had 14, Clint Capella with 14 rebounds in 20 minutes. So this
Yeah.
game was it was around the board a good game for everybody that was on the team. And I think they played well. What I think they need to work on was the field goal percentage. When you look
Mhm.
at this team, 37% field goal percentage is too low. What do you think?
I mean, there are a few times where you're just watching Trey and he just kind of hucked it.
Yeah.
Um, and it was funny to see that happen because you're like, okay, well, it's preseason, but at the same time, that percentage is a little deceptive too because you've got a bunch of guys who still have to mesh. So it's tough. It's tough. I think that it'll come up during the regular season.
Yeah, I also think so because Trey was missing some of those money floaters that he usually makes. A lot of the first quarter, a lot of open shots were being missed, so
Mhm.
it wasn't like they were just bad shot selections. Honestly, it just wasn't going in. That
Yeah.
the 3 pointers was what they were missing early in the first. 31.3%. I'm
Yeah.
For me, I need it up closer to 40 for this team to be successful. Up to 40.
That's for sure. I mean, you look at the guys who are not reaching those points, and I mean, Bogdanovich is going to be bringing that average up. Gallo he was hitting pretty well, and then like I said before, Hunter he was doing really well. So I think that it's tough because Trey wasn't shooting very well, but he was also I think that they were trying to get comfortable, and it's tough to make a judgment call on a preseason game, but
Yeah.
and they haven't played for 275 days, so
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
yeah, that's a long time to not play basketball. I mean, Luca put on some extra pounds, and people are giving him a tough time for that, and he's only been out for 3 months now, 2 months, 4 months. I'm not sure when the
Yeah.
season ended for the Mavs, but um, it's like your body can change so much over that period. So getting back into basketball, it's nice to see that Trey has been conditioning. It's nice to see that these
Yeah.
guys have been playing basketball outside of what's mandated. So
Yeah, Trey had the team go at him to some beach, and it was running up the hill
yeah.
in the sand, and they were doing their thing.
Oh
Speaking of
man.
body changes, did you see that Jason Tatum has grown to 6'10".
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. According to some reports, he's now 6'10". So we got another
What was he
6'10"
listed at
shooter.
before? What was he?
6'8" or 6'7"
No
or somewhere
way.
around there.
That
Yeah,
can't be
yeah.
real.
That's what the
Oh
reports were
man.
saying.
Are they just trying to like offload him for Giannis or something? I don't know.
I doubt it. He's going to be in Boston for a while, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna. We're gonna talk about Giannis a little bit later. And if you're watching, man, leave some comments how you felt about the first game. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And another thing that we lost, why we lost this game, the first preseason game against the Magic, we had 23 turnovers.
Oh yeah.
23 turnovers, and Trae
Yeah.
Young had 6 of those. So you can't be doing that in the
Yeah. I mean,
the game. So
what, over the past 2 games, he's got an average of 7 turnovers. So
yeah,
I
so
mean, that's 8 in one and 6 in the other.
yeah, so you want to bring that down with somebody like Rondo. You think that'll help him out? He won't have games like that, but when Rondo actually is implemented, I think it'll help Trae and mold him a little bit better. We talked about Trae Young and not getting off to a fast start. He didn't get his first basket until the second quarter, and it was almost like 6 minutes left in the first game.
Yeah.
So that shows a lot of, I guess he was trying to do a lot more facilitating, which means why he has a lot of turnovers. So,
I mean, he leads the team in assists for the preseason games, like 3 ahead of Brandon Goodwin, and it's pretty nice to see Goodwin out there too. Like he looks big for, and not like inactive
overweight.
big. Like he looks good. So it was really nice to see him come out. I mean, I think he only had like 15 minutes that first game, but he's still like, I think he got 3 or 4 assists and like still put up like 10 points. So, or no, not 10 points. That's way out of there. I think he got like 2 threes or a 3 and something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 points or
Okay.
something like
that. Sounds a little more reasonable for like 15 minutes or something. Yeah, that's
so we're gonna move on to the second game. The second game was a lot better for the overall of the Hawks. Won the game, so 1-1 starting the preseason. Atlanta 116, Orlando 107. DeAndre Hunter 15.7 rebounds. John Collins 13 points, 11 rebounds. Clint Capella 12 points, 12 rebounds. Kevin Huerter, your boy, 8 points, 9 rebounds. So he was more of a all-around player in this game. And then you had your big 3 that you really was looking for to put up points. Trae Young 21, 7 assists. Gallinari 17.7 rebounds, and then you had Bogey 18 points, 2 rebounds. So in the second game, you can kind of see this team kind of show a flash of what they could be.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the second game?
I mean, the biggest difference I think was just that like all these guys are fitting into their roles. Like Bogey got the points, Clinton, John both really got under the basket. I think Capella had like some insane like 6 or 7 offensive rebounds, just like completely dominating the paint and just giving us more opportunity to score. And then like you have like all around performances from like your rotation pieces. Like Hunter came out pretty well. And I gotta say, this is a Hunter jersey. This isn't a Herder jersey. So
DeAndre Hunter, huh?
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that a little later too. He's on the board that we talked about.
Yeah,
we have discussions about Mr. Hunter. So in the second game, like I said, you can see this team kind of gel more together and look a little better. Not to throw comparisons, but that third quarter kind of looked like the old third quarter Warriors. They went on a 19-0 run.
Yeah.
Like, oh snap.
and the best part about that was like, I think it was a 7-0 run against them just like minutes before that, and you're like, and as an Atlanta fan, you're just kind of like, oh no, don't do this to me. And then just like I think SKS was tweeting about it. She's just like, and that was the response. Like, you're not going to see that old like sputtering anymore. Like you had all these guys that just came together and responded, and that was awesome. That was an awesome run.
It was, and that's how it should be.
Yeah,
Usually back in the day, we would only have to rely on, all right, we need Trae Young to come up with
yeah,
some magic and
yeah.
keep us in this game. But it was everybody but Trae. It
Mm-hmm.
was everybody but Trae. You had what's his name? I just had it in my head. You had Bogey and Gallinari putting up points, and you also
Yeah.
had the acquisition of I can't think of the guy's name, the guy from Miami. So he
Solomon Hill.
Yeah,
King
Solomon Hill.
Solomon.
So
King
he hit
Solomon.
2 threes, and it was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
snap, we got scores."
Yeah, that was
So it was a
awesome.
good thing to have those scorers in the game. Um, and then it shows on the box score. Field goal percentage up 42.7%. 3-point percentage 39.5. Like, that's what
That's
I'm
right where we want to
expecting.
be. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right where we want to be.
and it shows because this defense, they didn't let Orlando score a lot of points. Yeah, I understand it's a preseason game, but you still have to take some kind of look at it and say, all right, Clint Capella wasn't playing a dominant center.
Yeah.
They don't have a good center in Orlando, so I'm expecting him to get like 15 to 20 boards. Like, who else is gonna? You're not gonna let Aaron Gordon get boards over you, are you?
Yeah. It was also
So,
nice to see like Vucevic. I always say his name wrong, but Nikola
Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah. It was nice to not see him like go off.
Yeah.
I think he was missing a bunch of threes, especially on that stretch. But it was nice to just not like that. I think every time he plays us, he just beats the living crap out of the Hawks. It's like his team that he beats. And I mean, Fournier was like, he was pretty like middle of the road. Like none of their guys really. I was really excited to see like the defense really step up too. Like those rotations look good. There are a few times where you see like the younger guys scrambling, but they were getting out. They were closing
Yeah.
on the perimeter. I'm really excited.
I am too. I'm very excited for this season. And the reason Nikola didn't dominate is because Clint Capella. Honestly, we've never had a dominant center outside of Al Horford. So now that he's not there, I think he froze on me. Now that he's not there, it's like, okay, now we have a dominant center. So yeah, I think he's freezing on me. But leave some comments in the chat. Let me know what y'all thought about the first and second game, the preseason game.
Oh man. All right, so I got disconnected there for a second. Sorry.
You're fine, brother. You're fine, brother. But yeah, like I was saying, we didn't have a dominant center. Nikola, that's why he was able to dominate. We never had a center that could actually guard him. But now that we have Clint Capella, a lot of things are going to change.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are going to change with
Yeah.
the team. One thing that we needed to work on in that second game was free throw shooting, 67%. You can't. That's something they need to work on. You can't be having 67% free throw shooting. That is horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah. That was really bad. I think I'm not sure who our worst offender was on that one, but I think that Hunter, like even though he put up like a pretty good amount of points, like I think he missed like 2 in a row or 3 in a row.
Yep.
I wish I had like better reporting. I'm using like Real GM for some of the preseason stats because they're not up on ESPN. So it's annoying because they have last year's preseason stats, but not this year. So can't really say any of these things with accuracy.
I understand. So the Hawks, they dropped off 36 points in the first quarter in the second game, which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
That means they went out and they got hot and they started scoring, which means this team can score a lot of points. But we knew that when we got all these people. So we knew we was going to be able to score a lot of points. Our main focus was, will they be able to defend and will they gel together? So
and stopping the team, I mean, like that third quarter, they kept up with the team as like the Magic was pushing, and that was like that was the biggest question is like, if somebody else gets on a hot streak, can you slow them down? Can you keep
Yeah.
up? And I think it was what they both scored 30 in that third quarter, like you were saying. So that that was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, like I said, only takeaway was bad free throw shooting, and if honestly, if that's the only takeaway after some games and we're still winning, then that
Yeah.
only becomes a problem in the playoffs. So, long as we can get that fixed before the playoffs, which I think the Hawks are gonna make, um, then I think we should be okay. What are your dislikes and likes about the Hawks' first 2 preseason games?
So it's kind of tough because like I think the hardest thing right now is that we don't see Chris Dunn out there, and that's one of the guys that I was like really a question mark for me, because it's easy to assess offensive additions like Gallo, like Adam Bogey. Like you can look at the end of a game and be like, yeah, these two guys that we added gave us 30 points, but seeing Dunn's contributions to this Hawks team, you're not going to see that until the regular season, and that's kind of the thing that I don't like is that we've got this big question mark defensively. Is like, how does he fit in, especially with the rotation? Because I like Brandon Goodwin, but it's going to be tough to fit him in there with Rondo and maybe Dunn taking some minutes. So um, it's crowded. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that I'm really interested to see is just how these lineups go. I think Pierce did a really good job of managing that second game, and getting comfortable. Like he was saying that yelling through the mask was something that he
Yeah.
was going to have to get used to. So I think that the whole team got really comfortable after just one game. So I um, I mean that's the biggest thing is just that there's so much that we haven't seen with the team. That's what I didn't like is that I still got a lot of question marks. Like
Yeah.
how did so that's it for me.
So what about your starting rotation? Because I'm thinking you got Trey Young, of course,
Hmm.
Bogey,
Yep.
Cam Reddish, then you got
Ooh.
John Collins, and then you have Clint Capella. That's my starting five. What would be your starting five?
I think that the beginning of the season you're going to see Hunter, and I think that this like performance at the beginning of the season really solidifies that. I mean, he was the leading scorer for 2 preseason games, and seeing that from a sophomore is like, all right, that's the kind of performance that puts you in the starting rotation. If you're coming out hot, I think Lloyd Pierce is going to play that hot hand, and
Mhm.
I mean, he's no defensive liability. Neither of them are. So there's not like that risk of putting a rookie in the starting rotation. So um, it'll be interesting because I think that you'll see more of Hunter for that starting rotation. And then uh, there might be some games where you'll see like Gallo,
Mhm.
or we do like a small five, or like rest Capella. So I definitely think that Hunter's going to be in that starting rotation. So that's probably the only place that I differ with you.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question. I'm gonna let you start on this question, then I'm gonna put in my intake.
All right,
Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter.
all right,
Upside for both.
all right. So that's complex because like at the start of the season, like game one, Hunter. I love Cam. Questionable sideburns right now, but I love like his game. He's you see like that spin move that he had that he was trying
Mhm.
out. Like he's still a flashy, incredibly good player. And I think that long term, Cam's going to be more important to the franchise. But I think that Hunter is like a key part of this Hawks team succeeding right now. Um, and it might be difficult to see like the difference, especially like I think the playoffs come around, Cam catches on fire and gets like
Yep.
130 point game, 135, like anything above like 20 25 points, and he's winning games for us. Like and that's exactly the type of player he's going to be if we put him in a position to succeed. And I think that letting him be a little more risky, playing against rotation players instead of starters, he's going to get a little more brave, play around with that footwork, and just he's going to grow a lot faster this year than last year where he was like running into Giannis and stuff like that. So I think that starting the season is going to be Hunter. I think if we go deep in the playoffs, like if we make it past the first round, I think Cam's going to surprise people and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, Hawks won the trade." I think that's going to be like the crazy thing to hear because like we've been talking about that for a long time. Like who won the trade? But if Cam blows up for one playoff game, Skip Bayless is going to say some like he's going to
Crazy
start
stuff.
like a Twitter war.
Yeah. When I look at it, mind you, I'm a Duke fan, so I'm
Yeah.
a little biased. I look at long term. I understand at this current moment, DeAndre Hunter would be the best, be better than Cam Reddish. But when I look at it, I'm looking at long term.
Yep.
And I see so much upside for Cam. We also have to remember DeAndre Hunter played 2 years at VA. His first
Yeah.
year, they got smacked as a 1 seed, a 63rd seed or 64
Yeah.
seed, first time ever. So he came back, and that's when he
Yep.
was the best player on the team, and he got to be a leader, and he learned all that stuff, and then they won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Reddish was behind Zion and RJ Barrett.
Yep.
2 lottery picks. So
Yep.
when you're sitting behind 2 lottery picks, it's like, all right, I'm going to go to the NBA. So
Mm-hmm.
do I really do my all? Do I really want to focus on basketball? And I think that hindered him a lot because then people think like, oh, he didn't want to play basketball, and he also was injured.
Yeah.
So
The
if
injury was
he,
a big part of
yeah,
that
so
too.
if he stays another year like Hunter did, then now you have a Cam Reddish who is now the star of the team, and you can see what he does. But he chose to go to the NBA. So once you leave that and you go to his rookie year, once again he was still injured. So he played an okay rookie year. DeAndre Hunter's rookie year was okay too.
Yep.
But his defense is what everybody talks about. His defense will be better than Hunter, and his offense is better than Hunter in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, I look at it from that point of view, in that he already plays good defense, he already has a better offensive game, and eventually he's going to be the man. I'm saying halfway through the season, you're giving him into the playoffs. I think halfway through the season, uh, Cam Reddish is going to be the man on this team.
All
If
right.
you have a suggestion in the comments, I see we got people watching. Let me know, Cam Reddish or DeAndre Hunter. But yeah, that's how I view the trade. I think we've already won the trade. We just have to wait
Oh
it
yeah.
out.
I mean,
Luka's a baller.
we're
Luka's
so
my
biased.
yeah.
We're so biased.
Luka's a baller. I love Luka. I think Luka's gonna be a top 3 player in the NBA one day. I think he's gonna be a top player in the NBA one day.
Yeah.
Top 3 actually, because he's just that good. And Trae Young will be he'll always be top 10. He'll somewhere be in the top 10 range. I don't know if he'll ever meet the top 3 because he's just I think his defense will hinder him and his size will hinder him. I know Steph Curry had a moment where he was top in the NBA, but he could shoot the lights out the gym.
I do have to say, I do have to bring up like the defense thing because like I know that's a huge talking point with like so much mainstream media for like just their excuse to hate on Trey. And
Yeah,
I don't I would take that bet that like his offense, no matter what, like you look at any of the advanced analytics that are like they bring in defense to the value of a player. Um, Trey is always a positive when he's
yeah,
on the court, and I think that that's only going to improve, especially as you put tools around him. Because like even with the 7 turnovers in the preseason, which will go down,
yeah,
he was leading the NBA in assists for like a week, and you put that with a dude who can get like that Chicago. I think it was the Chicago game where we went to double overtime, where
yeah,
he's got like 50 points, and you have that from a dude who's easily going to get 10 assists in a game. Like that is that is more than just like, okay, he's just an all-star. I think you're talking like people say generational talent with Luka, but I think that Trey is a generational talent too. But I mean, I'm wearing two pieces of Hawks gear. I go to every game that I can, and like I'm incredibly biased
Yeah,
for
a
Trey
little
Young.
biased. I'm a Hawks fan too. All Atlanta professional sports, I
Oh
root
yeah,
for. So it's but I look at it at a bigger picture. I already know 3 players off the top of my head that Trey Young will have to compete with that are already bona fide ballers. You got Jason
yeah.
Tatum, Luka Doncic, and Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you already have to compete with those people on top of the people that are still in the NBA that
Yeah.
are not around your age. So
Yep.
top 10 is he'll always be top 10, but cracking that top 5, he'll have to do some amazing things and do some amazing things. He honestly, I think for him to get his respect, he would have to either win the MVP or take the Hawks deep into the playoffs, and he's the reason.
Yeah.
That'll be the only way he'll get his respect from the media.
Oh.
Um, he'll always get his respect from Hawks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
we've
he's
been
the number
watching
one
him.
point guard in the NBA, but
Oh man.
I'm biased, so
I mean, it's funny because like you watched him from like his freshman season, or rookie season. I don't know why I said freshman, but he's like as soon as he came into the NBA, you're like he's all over the place. Like
yeah,
there were a few games where you're like, man, he only had like 11 points, but he played 35 minutes. There were a few games where he had like high turnovers, but then you see like one or two times where you're like, I can't believe he made that shot, or like he got like a teardrop just like right over LeBron, or that game where
yeah,
we like when the Lakers were not amazing, like before I think they had AD and we beat them in a packed stadium for like a tight game. Like that was a pretty big flash. And I think he's gonna have like you said, he's really gonna have to prove himself. He's gonna have to do like hardened things to
yeah.
get that recognition. And I mean, I think he could, which is like I'm just so star-crossed with the guy. So um, it's tough because like I my friend was the one who convinced me to start paying attention to the Hawks a lot more as soon as they drafted Trey Young, and it was like I just bought in. I was like, I'm going to throw my weight behind like believing in this guy, and I haven't been disappointed yet. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, no, I don't think nobody's been disappointed in Trey. And when you look at it, it's hard to be disappointed when you're averaging 29 points and 9 assists. So
yeah,
it's like, all right, we know you can score, so let's
and
keep
you can
scoring.
pass.
Um, so the Hawks' next preseason game, December 17th, 8 p.m. versus Memphis. Then they have another one December 19th, also against Memphis. Both of those are at 8 p.m. I'm excited to see this game because Ja Morant is one of my favorite point guards.
Oh my God, sensational! Oh my God,
Yeah,
he's so
I
much
love
fun to
Ja
watch.
Morant. Oh God, I love Ja Morant. He's one of the
Yeah,
best. I've been watching Ja for a while. Even when he was in college, I had this team going to the to the Final Four. Just off.
really, man.
But that's going to be a good game. Regular season starts December 23rd at 8 p.m. against Chicago. So
That's
I
a
think we should win that game. I think we should come out hot and we should win that game. We have 2 games away. Then our first game is at the State Farm Arena. So we won't be at home. It's a 3rd game in. So before we get out of here, how did you feel about the Giannis
ooh.
re-signing? I know a lot of Hawks
I
fans was
mean,
Giannis to the Hawks. Giannis to the Hawks.
I mean, I don't know if you know like if you follow the Onion or anything like that, but there was like a pretty funny tweet where they're like, Giannis to the Hawks tweets this guy who only like it, it's so outlandish to think that we were gonna get Giannis in any case just because like we got Bogey or because we were like freeing up cap space or something like that. But um, it kills like the dreams of like so many delusional fans
Yes.
for every franchise. Like, but I think it's a great sign, especially for us keeping Trey, because like there are a few people that are whispering. I mean, doubts that maybe he would want to go and play for the Thunder, but that's like he's going to stay with us, but it does really help like teams that have struggled to keep stars. It flies in the face of like the stuff that Harden's doing right now. So um, as as tough as it is
Yeah,
to like stop dreaming about Giannis, is good for the league ultimately. So yeah, and that it's tough to walk away from almost $250 million
yeah,
with a
that is true.
15% trade kicker. Like if he gets traded, this guy makes more than like I could ever possibly make in my lifetime for like one little event. Like
Yeah,
it's just
it's
it's
crazy.
such a massive
Um,
contract.
I
So
was never on the Giannis train. If you follow us at FILA Sports Podcast, Forever I Love Atlanta, make sure you watch us on Sundays and Thursdays. Me and the Don, we talk about Atlanta sports. But I was never on the Giannis bandwagon. I didn't even want him to come here, honestly.
yeah,
I just
I
didn't
can
want him
see
to
that.
come here. So
Um,
I was when I saw it, I was like, yes.
I mean,
Now I don't have to worry about it because now I know where he's going to be for the
yeah,
next 5 years. I know a lot of fans when they see this going to be like, "Wow, bro, you didn't want Giannis." I really didn't want Giannis. No, sorry, I didn't. I agree with you, Ultra Shadow 97.
mhm.
I knew we wasn't getting Giannis, so I wasn't disappointed. And I like the competition that's in the East.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so I'm always a good guy on competitor. I didn't like the big three. When it was D Wade and Chris Bosh and LeBron. I
yeah, it was
definitely
tough.
didn't like when KD went to Golden State.
Oh man,
Um, I just
that was
like competition. I don't want to say everybody's going to be equal but I just like to see competition.
yeah.
That's all. So I'm happy that he stayed in Milwaukee, and it's going to be a good basketball season for the Hawks.
Where do you think that
Rich,
the Bucks end up? Like, what do you think the East looks like at the end of
I'll
the
let you
season?
go first. Guest first. Southern Hospitality.
Oh,
You go first.
oh man, my rankings are all over the place because I have the Hawks unrealistically high. Um, it's it's tough for me because like I still don't really know. I mean Brooklyn's got to be in the top four could be shuffled
Mhm.
just based on like coronavirus. One team, one star, and you lose like 10 games. You could lose like a very big stretch of games. And I think that the Hawks are very like I don't want to say like corona proof,
Yeah.
but the fact that they've got the deepest bench in the East, I think that that corona proof part of them makes it to where like God forbid one or two starters catches corona and you've still got guys that can put up 15 points. You've still got guys that can put up 25 points. So I have the Hawks unrealistically high at like 5 or like 6, but like
I don't think that's
it's
unrealistic. I think that's right where they are going. I think anything higher than that would be unrealistic. But I have them at 6.
yeah.
I have them at 6,
Okay.
6 or 5. Because of course you have I honestly think that the Celtics are coming out of the East.
Yeah.
Um, I just think this is their year. They came so close so many years. I think this is the year they get over the hump. So you got
Mhm.
the Celtics, then you have the Nets, of course.
Yep.
Philly's a maybe. I don't know how that's going to work together. Philly's a maybe. Toronto, you always got to give respect to
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
seem to always be in the playoff.
Yeah, they just
And
are
then
so
after
good.
that, it's like okay, it's a toss up with the rest of the team. So I have them 5 or 6. I
Okay.
don't think that's too high of a spot. At 5 or 6, depending on who they play, I think they get to the second round,
Yep.
depending on who they play. I think we could get bounced out the first round if we're playing a team like not Philly. If we're playing a team like Brooklyn or something like that,
Yeah.
um, we'll get bounced out. Um, but I
I
think us making the playoffs is a championship year for us, honestly. Um, After that, it's just overachieving.
mean,
Anything, in my opinion, after making the playoffs is overachieving.
yeah.
Um, But I think we'll be good, man. I think we'll be good, and we'll see how the rest of this season go. But Thank you, Hooper, and I'm glad you're not
Thanks.
Austin Hooper. You're coming on
Yeah.
the pod. You got anything to say to people?
No, just like go Hawks. I'm really excited that I hope that I hope that the city recovers from like all the things that have happened this year. And I know that there's like a bunch of different places, but the ATL Solidarity Fund has been helping out a lot of people right now. So those are like some good things that I hope give back to the city. And man, I can't wait for basketball, like
You don't have
real
that much longer,
basketball.
brother. December 23rd.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Next Wednesday,
Oh my
basketball
goodness,
starts.
I'm so excited.
And I am too, man, because the Falcons are trash, and I'm tired of talking about the trash Falcons. I
Yeah.
love my Falcons to death, but they have
Oh my
made
gosh.
me mad for the year. I am done.
Well, did you say that we were gonna win three like by a field goal against the Chargers with
Oh,
Youngway?
so you were watching, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I one of my friends is a Chargers fan, so he was saying like this is a
yeah.
collab, but we should definitely pay attention to this one. And yeah,
Yeah, I said
it was
that and
funny.
then watched the other one. I came back and said the Chargers were gonna win 24-17, and I was so
Uh,
close.
yeah, you were close. I mean, that was I just I thought of you because you were like, no, Youngway's gonna get that.
I'm glad you watched, man. Thank you for watching. And to all
Um,
y'all out there that will see this at a later date, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on Thursday.
all right, man,
Hey,
take
yo.
it easy.
All right, brother. Ace, take us out on that dope beat, brother. Peace.